August 30th, 2016, Board of Supervisors meeting. The board is still meeting in its closed session calendar. Closed session has not concluded, so we will take up where we left this afternoon. We do have a few public comment speaker cards here on public comment on non-agendized matters. We're going to start with Chris Gibbons, followed by Richard Hannon.
Good afternoon. If you would just document and scan to your electronic devices in front of you. All right. Here are the gory details of 9/11 that nobody wants to know. Hiding these documented facts to maintain the lie that Al-Qaeda killed nearly 3,000 Americans on 9/11 is destroying our no longer constitutionally protected or sustainable $19,400 billion congressionally blood-indebted Union of States. Number one. No rats 24/7 on-call F-16 interceptors were ordered by Enron speculator, Secretary of Offense Donald Rumsfeld, to selectively stand down for 9/11. 2. United Flight 93 took off 41 minutes late from New York on 9/11, so Warren Buffett could get the hijacked Flight 93 trailed by one of his fat little funny-tailed neck jets. To ensure it would be shot down by United States Air Force Major Rigby, under order from President Bush on We the People's Air Force One, to destroy evidence of our president's attempted wife count on 9/11. Number 3. 21 Enron-sponsored and trained goons hijacked 5 domestic airliners, so the 4 hijackers on hijacked United Airlines Flight 93 could surprise attack the West Wing of the White House, painlessly take out Energy czar Dick Cheney and his anti-Enron VP staff from Halliburton, so all 25 goons could gain paradise in 72 virgins by distracting air traffic controllers and NORAD to allow Flight 93 to surprise attack the West Wing of the White House on 9/11. Number 4. Bad boy born again Bush caused the murders of 2,749 unplanned office workers in the planned empty towers by exploiting the 2-year in the making plan for 9/11 that his puppeteer, desperate Enron builder Ken Lay, designed to get Enron profitable by Operation Essential Harvest. And for our domestic enemy serving CIA to control 80% of the world's heroin produced in Afghanistan. Number 5. Larry Silverstein and Wood Goldman collected $4.6 billion from 2 rigged courts in their terrorist insurance scam perpetrated with ports in New York and New Jersey after 9/11. Warren Buffett collected over $37 billion from his terrorist insurance scam. Seas Candyman Buffett had to give it all away to prevent prosecution. Bill and Melinda Gates got $31 billion, no doubt. New York Senators Hillary Clinton and Charles Schumer. New York Mayor Rudolph Giuliani.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, thank you very much.
Richard Hannon, followed by John Jenkel.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Number 25, California Penal Code, Section 38, misprision of treason. Misprision of treason is knowledge and concealment of treason without otherwise assenting to or participating in the crime. It is punishable by imprisonment pursuant to subdivision H of Section 1170. Number 24, California Penal Code, Section 37, treason. Treason against this state consists only in levying war against it, adhering to its enemies, or giving them aid and comfort, and can be committed only by persons owing allegiance to the state. The punishment of treason shall be death, or life imprisonment without possibility of parole. The penalty shall be determined pursuant to sections 190.3 and 190.4. B. Upon a trial for treason, the defendant cannot be convicted unless upon the testimony of 2 witnesses to the same overt act, or upon confession in open court, nor, except as provided in sections 190.3 and 190.4, can evidence be admitted of an overt act not expressly charged in the indictment or information, nor can it be the defendant be convicted unless one or more overt acts be expressly alleged therein. 24. The Willie Brown named 41 public officers in California, including silence me to protect Traitor Hillary, Traitor Edmund G. Brown Jr., formerly anti-strike first United States Senator Barbara Pretend Art of Tough Boxer, Communist China Dolls Diane Frankenstein, Gerald Cease Further Contact Huffman, Nancy Plunderfunder Pelosi, People's Temple victim Nancy Spear, and Second Amendment champion Mike Thompson, all publicly endorsed email mischief making Hillary, Mrs. Taliban's Bush New Clinton Foundation, as the Willie Brown Stained Young Party nominee for president. They all not only gave aid and comfort to use deadly force as one man determines to be necessary by endorsing authorized Traitor Hillary committing treason, a capital crime, in violation of U.S. Code Title 18, Section 2381, that carries a death penalty, and concealed Hillary, Mr. Taliban Clinton Foundation treason, committing misprision of treason in violation of U.S. Code Title 18, Section 2382, a crime that mandates jail time. All gave aid and comfort to enemies of the $244 billion congressionally embezzled state of 760 congressionally lynched God-fearing dead Californians, and committed treason, capital crime, under California Penal Code Section 37. Any Californian who publicly endorses Hillary as a Dem Party nominee for president after understanding this missive commits misprision of treason, under California Penal Code Section 38 above. 26. In light of the above, any American who votes for Hillary Clinton for president anywhere in the United States commits a capital crime of misprision of treason.
Thank you, Richard. John Jenkel. Followed by Cactus Keith and Eileen Moravito.
John Jenkel, clearly the most violated by this board constituent, and I may be the most violated taxpayer in the state of California. Because in order to prevent me from doing this, what we're doing right now, holding Congress accountable, Mike Thompson accountable, you all accountable for seizing, three of you for seizing my farm without due process of law. In order to prevent me from doing that, one of the things Congress did was pass Martial Law 107-243, which authorized the President of the United States to use the armed forces of the United States, which includes this gentleman over here with a gun, as the President determined to be necessary, put me in jail, take my farm, kill Muslims, put this country into debt. But I'm finally getting over that psychological abuse of having half of my body cut in half by this county taking my horse farm and giving it to members of organized crime that work in the Paul House Winery Limited Partnership. Clearly an act of treason by this county, approved by 3 times by Supervisor Crillo and Supervisor Zane, and 1 time by Supervisor Rabbit. I got it all documented. You're going to see it. Nobody pays any attention to me until this came along. I gave you all copies of it. You might have it on your desk. It shows the asbestos dust flowing around New York from the controlled demolitions of the asbestos loaded Twin Towers. The port was trying to get rid of. All they could do was, they couldn't demolish the buildings without first taking out the asbestos. It was too expensive, so they let Mr. Silverstein and his financier Lloyd Goldman make a deal, and they pretended to have them collapse by 2 aircraft striking the tops of the buildings. Buildings are designed to withstand that, and it's all going to backfire on them. They're all going to go to jail or hopefully hang, and anybody who stands with them, including this board. may hang. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, sir. Cactus Pete?
Sir. Thank you.
Eileen Moravito? And Eileen, I'll take this opportunity as you're coming up here to apologize for not taking your comment before we went to closed session. We had a very packed closed session. We're not done with closed session, so as soon as we're concluded with public comment on the agenda items, we'll likely be going back to closed session.
Okay, thank you for that, I appreciate it. And I actually wanted to tell you that I appreciate you coming out to hear public comment when I know you said that you're still in public session, so thank you for coming back out, and we're gonna have to wait longer. The reason why I came today, well, I was here on August the 8th or the 9th, if you recall, and I left there feeling like dissatisfied with the process of public comment, and that's why I came back today to talk about public comment. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. When I was here last time, what I saw was people being abruptly cut off when they were speaking. Now, for myself, I didn't realize that this little clock was my little countdown clock, and so I didn't know I was that close. Maybe one thing we could do is explain to people before public comment to watch their clock. I didn't know it, and I'm sure other people don't too. I watched the sheriff get up after Elaine, and she's in her 70s, the lady with the radio show. The sheriff was coming up after her to help her be quiet, to finish up, when we could just help people conclude their remarks in a polite way. I also saw funny business with the clock. Like when Elaine was talking and she didn't finish, you started the clock on the next person, who was Tom. So there's Elaine talking, and she's talking on Tom's time. Then Tom came up to speak, and he only gets 3 minutes, and part of his time was used up by Elaine. That's no fault of his. I don't think that's a good way to do business. I would really like to see us be a kinder, gentler meeting and approach with the people, with the public. So after I was left and I was feeling dissatisfied, I continued to watch the meeting on live stream, because I'm like a geek like that. I watch your meetings frequently. I have to tell you, seriously, I was really offended when you came back out and made a joke about public comment. Oh, we're gonna have another hour of public comment, ha ha ha. Now you get to see what we do every Tuesday with the public. I was so offended, Efren, because I felt like I came here and I spoke to all of you from my heart, and I felt mocked after that. I really want to see the meetings go differently, and I think that you're a role model, Efren, for like Supervisor Gore. He's new at this, and he needs to see a good way to treat the public and a good way to run the meeting. You're a role model for all the administrators that are watching the live stream at their desks in the county on how to treat employees in the county. I really think some training would be in order, really, on how to conduct the meeting and how to deal with the public. And if you can't have training, go to Sebastopol, go to their city council meeting, and see how they are polite to the people. When people are starting to go over their time, see, I'm watching now, because now I know. When people are going over their time, or they are at their time, they say, please conclude your remarks. And they give a person another extra second so that they can conclude their thoughts. And I think that's a polite way to act. And, you know, I know that you have the power. And sometimes I think it's a power thing that's going on with the public. And I think we need to be more compassionate. And what I think is that also some people came and they sought out this job and they took it for power and control and money. But you know what I really think in my heart? I think that a lot of you came here because you want to change the world. I want to change the world. And so you know what? Let's start right here. Thank you.
Thank you, Eileen. The best public comment speaker I've had in my 7.5 years on this board. So, any other members of the public wish to address the board on non-agendized matters? Seeing none, the board will recess once again to continue the closed session items 45 through 52. Any members of the public wishing to address the board on